A 2.5 million hit to the full-time workforce. That's what the Independent Congressional Budget Office is predicting. But Democrats saying the law is unlocking something good.
People would no longer be job locked by their policy, but have the freedom to follow their passion.
Allows Americans to choose to spend more time with their family or pursue their dreams.
This isn't employers cutting jobs. It's newly empowered workers choosing to go a different path.
There's less participation for whatever reason, but not less jobs.
But what about the 3.6 million Americans we just discovered are out of work right now? Wouldn't they love to be job locked? Hi, everyone. I'm Brenda Butner. This is Bulls and Bears. Here they are, the Bulls and Bears this week. Gary B. Smith, Tracy Burns, Jonas Max Ferris, John Layfield, along with Jamu Green. Welcome to everybody. Okay, Gary B., Democrats say this is good news. What say you?
Well, the spin on this, Brenda, is just fantastic. I want to hit on two things we just saw in the clip. The one senator or congressman, I can't remember which, said, okay, well, you know, some people have more freedom to spend more time with their kids, and that's all well and good. But when the government's involved, Brenda, you can't create something from nothing. So in order for those people to spend more time with their kids, their premiums have to be subsidized. Who are they subsidized by? They're subsidized by everyone else who's still working and still paying out there, and normally with the government in the form of higher taxes. So if I'm one of those people, what happens to me? I have to pay more and higher taxes, and then what happens? I have to work harder. So some people benefit, but a lot of other people are penalized, and normally the people get penalized more than the ones who benefit. The other point I want to hit on is the one senator made the point about labor force participation. Basically, he said that's going to drop. Is that really the direction we want to go? Let me give you an example. France has a labor force participation of 56%, while we're at 63%. Their GDP growth has been flat for about 10 years at 0.1%. If we want to end up like France, where you have more and more people unemployed and the GDP isn't growing, this is a fine way to go.
Jamu, what do you think about how this is going to hit the economy?
It absolutely is good for workers, it's good for families, and it's good for the economy. I want to, dismiss what the politicians are saying and focus on what the director of the Congressional Budget Office is saying, the people who wrote this report. It is a change in the labor supply, not a change in the number of jobs that are available in the economy. And Douglas Elmendorf said very clearly, this is going to actually decrease unemployment and it's going to lead to higher wages. Yes, it's not a good thing to be stuck in a job just for health insurance coverage. What about all those entrepreneurs who want to go out and start their own businesses or find a better job? This could not be better news.
John, take that one on.
Look, this is political spin, and this is very good. Look, when you have a pig, put lipstick on it. It still doesn't make it a beauty queen, I assure you. They're saying that this will help the job market. Look, if your best answer is this easing job lock to create jobs or to open up jobs, it's the same as when they had the idea, let's tell companies that have cash on the balance sheet to hire people that they don't need. We don't have any job growth in this country. Jobs number was okay yesterday. It wasn't great, wasn't terrible, but we've lost 1 million jobs since President Obama first took office. What we need is jobs here right now, and the fact of job lock. Do you really think that Bill Gates, when he quit Harvard and started up Microsoft, that he was worried about job lock? This happens to very few individuals as far as percentage-wise. They said the same thing in the housing crisis. People underwater had job lock because of their mortgages. It's a very small percentage.
Jonas, what do you think about this cost-shifting idea? Is there anything positive to it, or is it all negative for the economy?
I'm kind of between this because in the CBO report, they even say there's substantial uncertainty because we don't really know how people are going to behave under this new idea. This is a new way of being where, like, if you're 63 and you normally couldn't afford health insurance without working at a company that provides it, will you quit the job preemptively for retirement? Maybe. We don't really know. I like to think everybody's not going to run out of work just because they get subsidized health care. On the other hand, I don't think you should have to have a job to be able to afford health care. I think you should have to have a job to not be in poverty and to get a paycheck. Your employer should provide you a paycheck, but if you've got pre-existing conditions and can't afford health insurance, you shouldn't have to get a job to solve that problem. That is a separate problem than needing money to not be poor, which is what a job is supposed to provide.
But, Tracy, isn't this a disincentive to work?
Totally. I think it's the wrong way. You don't want to change the labor force because of healthcare. You want to change the labor force because of innovation and entrepreneurship. And we're not seeing healthcare being offered to a lot of people because they're, well, part-time and consultants now. And nobody wants to take on these people because they still are uncertain of how it's going to affect their bottom line. So that's less jobs in the economy. I think we're backing into it in all the wrong way. And the fact that the Democrats are trying to spin that it's good to work less is so beyond what our forefathers wanted for this country.
Okay, Jamu. What do you think?
Well, let's simplify this. It's kind of like a revised version of musical Chairs. You're going to have the same number of chairs, the same number of jobs, but there are going to be fewer people trying to squeeze into those jobs. So yes, all of those people, the long-term unemployed, Brenda, that you mentioned earlier, they will have a better opportunity to find those job openings. It's a win-win.
Okay,
That doesn't make any sense.
Gary B., what do you think about the musical chairs?
I'm gonna come at it from another analogy, and it's very simple. The CBO, Jamu quoted, said, we're going to lose people out of the workforce. That's a given. And why are we doing that? Because more and more people are on the government dole. I come back to my European example. This is socialism, or getting close to socialism. Go crazy. Let the government provide everything. Let the government provide all these unemployment benefits that go from here to eternity. Let the government provide health care. And so what you have, Jamu, is more and more, or fewer and fewer people providing for more and more over there that aren't doing anything. So these people get to see their kids more, while everyone else, a smaller and smaller group of people, have to work more and more. It's just idiotic, and that's why you have GDP of France going flatline, GDP of Spain going negative. This is the road to ruin if we want to continue to be a great country.
Well, Jonas, let's get your take on this. This does create more dependence on the government, and that costs more.
It costs more. Other people have to pay into the system to support you. If you intentionally don't work to lower your income so you can get subsidized health insurance, yes, that costs somebody, either the government or other workers or other. But again, let's come back to that. Is that how people are going to behave? And if it is, then we should move Medicare out to 70, because all those people from 65 to 70 are retiring because they can afford health care through Medicare, because that's subsidized times 5 compared to Affordable Health Care Act. So therefore, let's let them work till they're 70 so they can get health care through their employer. If that's a good system, let's take it further rather than just focus on this little piece. I'm not sure people behave that way to this extent that the CBO says. Maybe they do, and then, yeah, let's retire at 70 and work and have to stay in our jobs.
Well, John, what do you think of that?
I think in theory, this job lock argument works, but in theory, Obamacare works. If you have every young person out in America that wants to buy health care that they think they don't need and they don't want, then yes, it works. We all sit around and sing Kumbaya. We got free health care. Theories don't work in real life, and that's one of the problems with Obamacare. Look at all of the taxes, what Gary's talking about. Remember President Hollande in France, the socialist president who's going to soak the rich? Everybody's going to be happy. He has an approval rating under 20% right now because of his failed policies, the lowest of any post-war president in France. And what we're seeing here is we're paying for this through taxes. Look at all the tax increases that are coming about through Obamacare. They said this is going to be paid for by young people. It's not. It's being paid for through an increase in taxes. That hurts the economy.
Okay, that's got to be the last word. Thanks, guys.